Well, I went to Lowe's and found some more plants. Hey everybody, welcome to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray. I'm glad you're here today because I did it again. I stopped in at Lowe's to see what was on the clearance rack and I found some stuff. So I've got the truck back here all set up. So I'm gonna flip this camera around, show you what I got, and then we're gonna walk through where it's going and how it's gonna work out. So let's flip it around, move to the back of the truck, and I'll show you what we got. All right, so here is our plant haul that we are working with today. I got these at two different stores. 1, 2, 3. These 3 came from Lowe's off of the clearance rack. And then these 2 came from a local nursery called the Good Earth Garden Center. And I got them on clearance as well. So now I'm gonna walk in closer and we're gonna look at all of this stuff that we scored on the clearance racks. I'm so excited. So first and foremost, let's just look at this foxglove. Now these blooms are getting ready to be done, but that's okay. This is a huge 3-gallon pot of perennial foxgloves. It comes back every year. Here's the tag. So it's an upright perennial loving full sun. So there's its stuff. If you want to pause the video and look at that. So normally $15.98, and there's at least 3 different plants in this pot, so I can divide this if I want to. I paid $5. There's the clearance tag. $5 I paid to get this huge perennial foxglove with those blooms. Can you believe it? I love it. So I'm excited about that. I do not have a spot in mind for this yet. We're just gonna work it in. We'll see what happens. Next, we have 2 hydrangeas. My Lowe's right now, just like many Lowe's or Home Depots or other garden centers, are putting all of their shrubs and trees on the clearance rack, guys, because summer's getting hot. They don't have the staff to keep stuff watered and looking the best, and they know that planting season is slowing down. Most people are not going to be planting anymore, so everything's going on clearance. So let's look at what I got here. This is a white Bobo panicle hydrangea. This is a dwarf hydrangea. Cold hardy. Let's open the tag so you guys can see. It only gets 2.5 to 3 feet tall, and a max spread is 3 to 4 feet wide. So that is not bad for a hydrangea. And it can be pruned to make it smaller if you choose. So I'm super excited about this guy. He was $24.98 regularly, and I picked him up for $12. So, you know, about half price. But it's a proven winner's variety. I think it's gonna be wonderful, and it's starting to set flowers. The next one back here is already setting its flowers. This is a lace cap hydrangea. If you've never seen a lace cap hydrangea, well, you are now. So instead of the full, thick, solid blooms, it does lacy blooms on the inside, surrounded by traditional blooms on the outside. So it almost looks like a lace work or fret work. So this is a lace cap hydrangea. This is called, what is it called? What is the variety? All right, this tag is not really helping me. Maybe that's it. Belmer? Not sure. Anyway, as you can see, this is not the flower, that's the plant. So these blue cans from Lowe's, you can't really trust some of the tags on that stuff sometimes. It's not a company like Proven Winner who goes to extra lengths to make sure their stuff is correct. Anyhow, it's still a good plant though. It's not gonna affect anything. So there it is. So it was $29.98 and I picked him up for $15. And lastly, we have these two here. Look at those little flowers peeking through. Just a fun little purple and this glossy dark green foliage. I am loving this plant. So this is a Velvet Elvis Plectranthus. Now this is an annual for me, which means it does not come back, but it's a part shade. So this is a tropical shade annual. So if you have a shade garden and you don't mind spending a little money for annuals and you want a little different foliage and some bloom and some color, this Plectranthus is perfect. So part shade, there's your height spacing. It is hardy in 9 through 11. If you're in those zones, great for you because you're in a tropical climate. You can keep this stuff all the time. But for the rest of us, it is just an annual. So I picked up 2 of these. These were 50% off as well. So I got both of them for $5. They're huge plants, but they're in a small 3-inch can. So I got them both for $5. And I already have one of these planted in the garden. One of them will go with that guy, and the other one will either go with these hydrangeas or go over there with that guy as well. So there's our plant haul. So now let me go show you where the hydrangeas are going. We're building a new flower bed today, and we're putting those hydrangeas in it. So let's go look at that. All right, we're gonna be cleaning out this corner today. Here's my grill. I've got a couple of hostas. I usually store my fire pit, and I have a patio table that kind of set here. This wood was laying on the ground when we bought this house over 4 years ago. I've never attempted to lift it up. I have no idea what we're gonna find under there, but I'm going to pull these boards up, clean the area out, see what's under here, and we're gonna get this area ready for our new hydrangea plants. So I'm gonna put the camera down, get to work, and I'll bring you back. Oh, and I guess I should mention that white pipe is the gutter drainage from the house. It was the only way that I could do it. It's not very attractive, but is the gutter just drops right here and there's no drain, and it was flooding out the driveway every time it rained. So this comes through here and then pops under, and I couldn't bury it because all of my pool equipment is right there. It is what it is. All right, here we go. All right, so here we are with update number 1. The boards are all out, and they're sitting right there. They were attached together in a framework. So it was actually super simple. I just pulled it out, and I raked the area underneath, threw everything away in the trash. I've got a little sweeping to do. And so this is kind of what I'm left with. Now, I do have some extra stepping stones, and so I'm going to be putting some stepping stones here, just because that's an awkward corner, which I'm assuming, sorry for the light, guys, but I'm assuming that's why that was put there in the first place, is to kind of transition that awkward corner. So I'm going to do that with some stepping stones just on the front corner and still give me all of the space back here to plant. So I'm going to work on that, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so we've got the stepping stones down, and I think that's going to do a great job of just closing in that corner and giving us the angle we need. So now it's just a matter of placing our plants and showing you what we're going to be doing in this bed. All right, so I put my 2 hydrangeas where I thought I wanted them to go. I am loving the lace cap here. I'm not loving the bobo. So I've thought of a solution though, and here's what I'm thinking, guys. And so if you're dealing with flower beds at home too, this is my thought process. The bobo is going to compete with the lace cap. And I really just need the lace cap to grow up and fill the back corner and be the star of the show. And then these hostas will stay, and then I can underplant all through here with smaller scale things, more hostas perhaps, other shade plants that will fill in the gaps and be gorgeous poking out from around the lace cap, but the lace cap will be the star. If I leave this here, when they both grow, it's going to be a jumbled mash. So while it was sounded good in my head at the store, it's not going to work in real life. So the Bobo has to go, but that's okay because I have a spot in mind. So let's pick him up. So right over here behind the patio, I have that little iron thing there. It's just honestly there, but it used to be a table. It fell over and the marble top broke. The Bobo's going to go right there. So let's set him down over there and see what happens. Yep, that's gonna do it. And the good thing about putting the Bobo here is it's going to give me some filler with some color, and it's gonna break up the hostas. Now, if you remember correctly, it looks really small now, but this hosta and that hosta and that hosta that we just planted this spring are all giant hostas. They're 3 different varieties, but they are gonna get 4 feet tall by 2 or 3 feet wide. So this corner is going to fill in very fast. And I already have some other dwarf hydrangeas right here. So this is going to kind of bridge the gap, bridge the distance, and fill the gap. So I think that's going to work. And it's good to have it here because this is a Rose of Sharon. It's blooming. We'll show it. I don't like this thing. I just don't. When I moved in, it was a solid bush. I have pruned and cleaned and pruned and cleaned and limbed up, and I've got it into a tree form, which is much better than what it used to be. But Rose of Sharon is a very messy plant. The branches are weak, they tend to break. The flowers don't stay on the bush very long. They fall off and they make a mess. And I've never really shown my patio furniture up close because it's gross. And the reason it's gross is this Rose of Sharon. Every spot you see is where a flower has fallen off this thing and landed there and stuck and stained the cushions. It's just a gross tree. They're pretty if you have them in a field away from nothing where they can bother and you just mow around it. That's where they're perfect. For me, my opinion, in this garden, it's a mess. But it's here, it's existing, I'm working with it, and I leave it honestly because it does provide structure and it does give me a little color and it does cast some shade for the shade garden. So it's one of those you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't type things for me with this plant. I know lots of people love this plant, and I love this plant, like I said, in the middle of a field where it can do no harm. We're just living with it for now. It may eventually go, especially if that fills in and looks really pretty, then this may just eventually go. But we'll see. All right, so I decided to put one of our Plectranthus there just to give me a step down in height, and then I still will pick up some stuff, get this planted, and then we'll mulch. Here we go. All right, so I've got everything planted. I went and picked up a bag of mulch. I even went and picked up 4 bags of stone to fill in under the grill here. So let's flip the camera around and show you the reveal. So here it is. We've got our lace cap hydrangea. our plectranthus. I already had this small pot of caladium, so I moved him over here. This hosta and this hosta, there's an itty bitty baby hosta right there. He probably won't make it, but I'm gonna try. I dug up from over here. There used to be a big hosta here, and I dug him out a while back and moved him, but the roots that were left in the ground sprouted 3 babies, this one being the biggest. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get those there. We moved our owl over here just for a little fun, and then these 2 hostas were here. And you probably can't see it, but I went and picked up an edge. So there's my edger to separate mulch and gravel. And I've got a fresh layer of gravel in here under the grill and our little side cart. And I moved this pot right here on the end just to kind of cap it all off. So I think it turned out pretty well. Let's go over here and look at the other hydrangea. So there is our Bobo hydrangea. I've got him plugged in. I went ahead and put the 3rd plectranthus here next to this one. And so now this whole area is filled in. And like I said, once this Emperor Rue hosta fills in and the Komodo Dragon hosta, and that 3rd one, I can't remember the 3rd one's name, but once they fill in, and it probably won't be this year, they'll get bigger, but not as big as they will get in the future. But this whole area is just gonna be a beautiful, thick, lush shade garden. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed seeing this and seeing my process. You know, I went to the store, I happened up on a clearance, I saw those hydrangeas, and I thought, those are coming home with me. I knew I had this corner of the flower bed that I wanted to clean up. Like I said, there had been, or like you saw, there was that wood there that the previous owners had put down to do like a extension of the patio, and it was rotten. It was time to go. So we fixed it. It's all cleaned up. It looks so much better, and I really enjoy it. But that's my process. You know, I typically don't go into things with a hard map or outline. I typically will just go and look around and see what I can find that's on clearance that will work, or I see what's just speaks to me, it's beautiful, and I visually go through my brain and say, oh, I know where that can go in the yard, and I bring it home. And then, you know, like you saw today, I brought home both hydrangeas thinking they were going to go in that one spot. But the Bobo hydrangea it didn't work once I got it here. But I found another spot for it. So it's as easy as that, guys. Don't let gardening scare you. Whether it's vegetable gardening, herb gardening, flower gardening, whatever kind of gardening. If you get something home and don't like it, switch it around. If you plant it and in 3 months it's grown up a little bit and you think, gosh, I made a mistake, dig it up, move it. That's the beauty of the garden. Now with vegetables, it's harder to dig those up. So those don't really want to be moved once you get those in the ground. Just fair warning there. Some will, but with the flowers and bushes and perennials and herbs, you can move those things around, work until you're happy with it. And that's the name of the game with gardening. There is no magic rules for gardening. It's whatever makes you happy, and what you like. That's the secret. So I hope this inspired you. I hope you enjoyed seeing me work through my process. If you liked this video, I would love it if you'd give me the thumbs up, like the video. That would mean a lot to me. And if for some reason you're not subscribed to our channel here at Horticulture Geek, well, I would love for you to join us and come along on our journey. If you ring that bell, it'll tell you every time we post a new video. You never know what we're going to be doing or where we're going to go or what we're going to get up to. So come along on the journey with us. I would love it. But until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.